Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. A content warning on today's episode. If you're listening with children, go ahead and hit stop. We'll do that story second, but first we thought it odd that Prince William is not taking part in the VJ Day ceremonies, so we asked our royal insider Deep Crown about it, who texted us, "The absence of the Wales couple from this year's 80th anniversary commemorations is rather more significant than the palace press office would have one believe. In 2020, during the height of the pandemic restrictions, William still managed a substantial contribution with that thoughtful BBC address. Quite moving, actually, particularly his references to his grandfather's service in Tokyo Bay. Now, one must ask why, with no such constraints in place, the heir to the throne finds himself apparently unavailable for what should be a cornerstone event in the royal calendar. The whispers about Catherine's well-being have been persistent, and those of us who observe these things closely note that when the princess is struggling, William's public commitments tend to, shall we say, become more selective. It's reminiscent of how the late Queen managed things during Philip's declining years. Certain appearances simply didn't happen, with little fanfare or explanation. The difference, of course, is that William is meant to be stepping forward, not stepping back. Charles, even at his age, continues to shoulder these ceremonial burdens with admirable dedication. The palace may frame it as diary management, but those of us who remember how these things truly work know better. As for the story, we didn't want the little ones to hear. A new biography claims that Prince Andrew experienced early sexual encounters as a child, with one source stating he lost his virginity at the age of 11. The allegations appear in entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York, written by royal biographer Andrew Lownie. The book suggests that the Duke of York had multiple sexual experiences before his teenage years, claims which Lownie said may have helped explain some of the Duke's later behaviour. A source close to Prince Andrew is quoted in the book as saying that his first sexual experience occurred at age 8 and that he had been with more than a half-dozen girls by the time he turned 13. Lownie writes that these early encounters were pivotal, marking a moment when the young prince realised that he was obsessed with women. Lownie told The Telegraph that he felt these details were important in building a broader picture of Prince Andrew's life. "It does perhaps explain some of the behaviour later on," he said. "I think he, in some ways, has been a victim." Another individual who knows the Duke told The Telegraph that Andrew had previously alluded to sexual experiences at what most of us would consider as too young an age, and said his personal life was far more complex than people realise or have ever been prepared to properly consider. Christopher Howes reviewed the book for The Telegraph, giving it 2 stars out of 5 and writing, "Piling up the carvery plate of royal excess makes entitled less, not more plausible. It is also indigestible for the reader. No unkindness is too small to throw into the pot. The Duke is often rude to inferiors, almost everyone. Boris Johnson is quoted as saying that another lunch with the prince might make him a Republican. One of his dates said he tells the most pathetic jokes. He finds poo cushions funny. I didn't quite know what a poo cushion was. I thought it might be a whoopee cushion, but more likely it means a cushion bearing the likeness of a piled turd." According to one of the Duke's friends, meeting Epstein was like putting a rattlesnake in an aquarium with a mouse. The prince may have been the mouse, but it was Epstein who died. So pumped up in this biography that I was surprised to find no suggestion from an anonymous source that Prince Andrew bored Epstein's prison guards into deep sleep with his conversation and then strangled him with his mouse-like grip. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle travelled to Australia for the Invictus Games as senior working royals, the Duchess reportedly brought her own team to help ensure the trip ran smoothly, a move that, according to biographer Tom Bower, did not sit well with palace staff. In his book, Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors, Bower claims Meghan arrived with 4 official aides, Samantha Cohen, Amy Pickrell, Heather Wong and Marnie Gaffney, but also asked close friends Jessica and Ben Mulroney to fly in from Canada to provide round-the-clock support, with Jessica doubling as her stylist. The extra entourage, Bower writes, created friction, with Meghan alleged to have been abrasive towards palace staff and local British diplomats. Tensions reportedly escalated to the point where Meghan allegedly threw a cup of tea in the air during the trip, an act Bower notes was less dramatic than smashing it against a wall, but still unladylike and unroyal-like. Bower also claims the Sussexes closely monitored online coverage, becoming inflamed by the slightest criticism and pressuring staff to remove negative commentary. Meghan is said to have blamed senior aide Jason Now for not managing the press Hollywood style, while Harry was described as curt, with reporters at one point remarking, "Thank you for coming, although you weren't actually invited." More palace in just a moment. If you are into true crime, please check out our new podcast, Celebrity Trials, covering all the major trials going on in the system right now. It's a daily podcast and something that true crime fans would love. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts, Celebrity Trials. Ever dreamed of commuting like royalty? Now's your chance. One of Queen Elizabeth II's personal Range Rovers is up for auction, and for around $89,000, you could drive off in a piece of royal history. The 2006 Range Rover Supercharged, personally driven by Her Majesty from 2006 to 2008, will go under the hammer at iconic auctioneer's Silverstone Festival sale, running August 22nd through 24th. But this isn't your average SUV. The late Queen had the vehicle customized with upgraded internal wiring for security systems, added handles for easier entry and exit, and, of course, mud flaps for those rainy British days. Naturally, it was also a fit for her corgis. The back of the vehicle features a custom dog guard so her beloved pups could ride safely in the rear cabin. Perhaps the most unique touch, a rare hood ornament, a silver Labrador with a fish in its mouth, replacing the usual Range Rover badge. This special ornament was reserved exclusively for Queen Elizabeth's personal vehicles. The iconic SUV is expected to sell for between $63,000 and $89,000. And if you'd rather take to the skies than the road, a former royal helicopter is also up for auction this week. Fit for a queen, literally. Montecito resident Rob Lowe commented on his neighbours Harry and Meghan telling E! News, "They definitely have brought a lot of attention to my sleepy little town. Let me tell you something. Once the royals move into your neighbourhood, the neighbourhood is never going to be the same. The good news is property values go up. The bad news is the lines are longer at Starbucks." Meghan Markle appears to have extended a high-profile gesture of friendship to Khloe Kardashian, sending the reality star a wicker basket filled with items from her lifestyle brand As Ever. Khloe shared the gift on Instagram over last weekend, posting a photo of the basket, which included 2 bottles of As Ever's rosé, organic orange blossom honey, assorted tomatoes, squash flowers, and what is believed to be produce from Meghan's Montecito garden. The Duchess of Sussex later reposted Khloe's story to her own Instagram account, adding 3 white heart emojis, a heart doodle reading, "Hey, hey, all my girls with a K," and a kissing face emoji. As Ever's official account also shared Meghan's post. Sources tell Palace Intrigue they heard rumbling at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle near the grave of Queen Elizabeth. Sarah Ferguson's footwear caught some attention. She arrived at the famed Mayfair Hotel wearing custom navy blue loafers, each embroidered with a portion of a well-known royal maxim, "Never complain on one shoe, never explain on the other." It's a phrase long associated with the late Queen Elizabeth II's approach to public life, and one that continues to guide the broader royal family in the face of scrutiny. Former royal butler Paul Burrell won't be dancing under the glitter ball anytime soon. According to insiders, Strictly Come Dancing bosses have quietly shelved the idea of inviting the former royal butler onto the show, reportedly out of concern it might strain relations with Buckingham Palace, particularly one of Strictly's most loyal fans, Queen Camilla. A source told the Mirror they know how much Queen Camilla loves the show and would love for her to appear in the audience, but they fear that Paul's involvement would scupper that relationship. Burrell, once a confidant of the late Princess Diana, has long been accused of leveraging his royal connections for publicity. Allegations he's denied. Queen Camilla, who attends ballet classes with the Royal Academy of Dance's Silver Swans and has even hosted a Strictly-themed tea party at Clarence House, is a known superfan. She famously told professional dancer Johannes Radebe, "We all watch it," and reportedly keeps tabs on backstage gossip through a loose network of mutual friends with co-host Tess Daly. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a nice review if you're enjoying the show. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.